So this is just a rough paste operation. Now the only reason I left the center is it's going to disappear in a while anyhow, so there's no sense wearing out the tool bits on it. So what I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this side down a little bit. I have to do this in a couple stages, but the main reason for doing it is that's going to be 8.5 inches in diameter there for a little while, and that should give me, I think, a little bit of clearance over here. We'll find out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just break these two edges. This one should be finished, but this one is still rough, just basically just for the fun of it. And then I'm going to drill a small hole all the way through. Okay, so we got a small hole in there, and unfortunately I don't have any large drill bits to drill this out larger, so from here on it's boring. Some nice chips here. A little warm. This is the face of the shaping head that is going to fit up against the face of the adapter that's in the lathe at the moment. So I've got the ring around the outside, which is the actual seating surface. I've got a little bit of undercut here. This diameter is 8.5 inches. And this register surface here is about 2.95 inches. So that's a rough measurement with the guessometers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work in the lathe. Once I get close, I'm going to be using some telescoping gauges in there and a micrometer, going back and forth between this and that. And since this registers center line, I'm going to make that just a hair larger than this, the same size or just a little bit larger, thousandth of an inch, something like that, so that we can rotate around to there. Then once we've done that along the face, I'm going to have to carve a groove out for some T-bolts to go into, and that's what these will bolt to. So let's get to it. This is going to be a 3-inch diameter hole when I bore it out. I'm using a carbide insert. I should be able to do about 240 RPM. Next lower speed on my lathe is 185. I'm going to start with that. I'm going to try a depth of cut of 10 thousandths. So we're going to go in, touch off, come back out, pull out 10 thousandths per side, and then let it feed. I've got the saddle stop set to automatically stop before this crashes, but I do want to watch it, of course, just in case that doesn't work. So I think we're ready to get going. .946, 953, 7 thousandths. That's a real good fit. I like it. Clean up and scrape the edges. That is excellent. Now, marking the 2 holes. So the 2 holes, mark where I'm going to put a T-shaped slot, put a T-bolt in. At one point I'm going to have to widen this, probably about here, and put those in, but these are just to give me the right radius right now. So I need to get another cutter in, set up for that, do a plunge cut in there, and then L-shaped cutters to machine the 2 sides of the T-slot. Another alternative that I could do, could put it on the mill, spend the time, line it up on the rotary table, spin it around, but I've already got it mounted on the lathe, I've already got it centered, and this is a lathe task, fairly easy one. So let's get set up for that. So I was getting some chatter, so I changed to a narrower tool. This one's carbide, so I can spin it a little bit faster. Let's see how well it works. That looks good. And the kickouts off. My next step is to cut the T-slots in here, widen them out so that this T-bolt can go in. This will be used to fasten the shaper head to the adapter. And I have a tool with an offset here that I can cut in. I'm going to use this on both sides. So I'm going to cut on what is the outside of the radius first, and I'm going to do that with the lathe running in reverse. This is a high-speed tool bit. Calculations say I should be going at about 24 RPM to get the right speed. So I've got the lathe set at 25, the closest speed for that. And then I'll move it back over to this side, and then I'll cut the inside portion of the T-slot. And the reason for doing it with one tool and going both ways is, number one, I don't have a matching tool the other direction. But the bigger reason is using the dials, I'll be able to make sure that I get the two sides, or the face of the T-slot, parallel on both sides so that the nut will sit in there square without being a little bit cockeyed. I've made some notes for myself that tell me where to set the dials, just as a memory aid. Already have the lathe set up on here. The tools appropriately on center. So we're going to just start the lathe in reverse, put it in, do a feed. I've got to go about 20 thousandths of an inch each direction. So that's not going to take too long to do that. Go at 5 thousandths, take it off. So it should be a fairly quick process to get in there and do the cut. But I've got to step it out twice because the width of this tool is only about half of what I need. So I'm going to be doing 2 cuts in each direction. Then I'm going to bring the cross slide back over here, reverse the direction of rotation, then do the other 2 cuts. Once I'm done with that, everything on this face, on this end, will be taken care of. And the last thing I'll do before I take it off the face plate is this area in here, I'll be able to thin it down a little bit. And that'll also provide a little bit of clearance later on. Once that's done, we're going to turn everything around, work from the other side. So, let's get started. .865. 0.893. That looks good. If I have to shave a little off of this, I can do that later. I don't want to thin the wall here too much. So it's time to take a little bit off the outside, and then we'll be able to remove this from the faceplate.